On this edition of Bidding Wars, we have a slate of cars from the HG Ground collection going across the block. And even if that isn't enough selection for you, just remember, there's always something here at Lake Auctions for everyone, including your announcer. Welcome to Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Lake Auctions in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But this isn't your common coverage of a car auction.
Zip boom to the moon! Oh man, rule! Yes! Sold!
We highlight the competition going on around the edges of the stage because it's not just how much, but who and why.
Tell you what, the ladies are rocking the bidding today.
That was the steal of the day so far.
I think so too.
Have you picked out a favorite car?
You like the Broncos? You like that particular car?
Yeah, I think there's a little money in it left.
So when it comes to people's passion for the automotive market, in between the commerce and the collecting, there's Bidding Wars.
What'd you tell me?
Are you with me at 35?
I can't hear you. What did you say?
Are you with me at 35?
And you're having fun.
Oh, I'm loving it. I brought some to sell, but if I can't sell them, I'll just buy them.
I like the way this guy thinks.
This is a very nice 2007 Saleen Mustang, the S281. It's a supercharged V8 engine with an automatic. It is number 200 of only 1,200 that were produced, and there is still a warranty on the supercharged engine on this 2007 Saleen Mustang. It's the S281 model, actual miles with warranty, ladies and gentlemen, on the supercharged engine.
After Carroll Shelby, there was Steve Saleen. While Shelby was off working with Buddy Lee Iacocca to improve Chrysler products in the 1980s, this former Formula racer picked up the performance slack at Ford when he started producing supercharged Mustangs. Saleen has continued to produce high-performance Mustangs to this day, often competing right alongside the revived Shelby Mustangs, except he hasn't limited himself to one brand of pony car. There are also Saleen Camaros and Challengers.
Now $13,000, 12, 13, and now 13, now 13, now 13, 9 bid, $12,000, 13,000, 12 bid, who get 13,000? Now listen to me, 4 bidders on the car. I've got Marty Hill and at 12 it, and Mikey, your bidders, both your bidders are out. Out of 12, 13,000, 12,000, roll the car. And now 13, now 13, now 13,000, 12 bid. Kenny, if you'll lift the reserve, I'll bet you $1, bet you $1.
Here we see Kenny Garman working with the seller to lift the reserve. And he does. Now the car is officially for sale.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reserve's off. The reserve's off. I get 12, 5, 13,000.
13, Rick.
13, now 13,000. Now 5, 5, 5. Gonna bid 13,005. I bid 13 bid 5, 5, 5. Gonna bid 13,5. I bid 13,5. And I'm boy now 14,000. I was gonna bid 13,5. 14. Now 5. 14,005.
14,5.
14 bid. Kenny's reserve off. And reserve's off. The reserve's off. And 14,005. I bid fair warning. Fair warning. Gonna bid 14,5. Are you
You're
down
both
there?
out.
14,5.
14,5.
14,500. Now, are you done, Mikey? Gonna bid 14,5. He said yes or no, and I gonna bid 14,5 and 14,5.
Yes or no?
14,5. So $14,000. Good job, guys. So 14,000.
Rick, when the reserve came off at about 11.5, you were pretty much out there alone. That was going to be a beautiful deal.
That's a pretty good buy, I think.
Are you a Ford guy or a dealer for Fords? Or?
Just anything that's worth a bargain looks like we'll buy it.
When you can find an 07 Saleen that still has the warranty for 14 grand, you have scored.
I think so.
Fantastic job. Congratulations.
Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by EvapoRust, super safe rust remover. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
1949 Cadillac Series 62 Custom Sedanette.
17.
All right, let's say hello to the 2003 London Taxi, the International LT2.
Yeah, great Uber car.
More exciting cars coming up here on Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Plastic.
Lot number 179, 1949 Cadillac. This is a Series 62 custom sedanette powered by a 454 cubic 88 engine, 700R transmission. Components under the hood are all new, as is the electrical system, electric fans, electric fuel pump, vintage air heat, AM, FM, CD player. Now, please make a note, it is registered to an Oklahoma State assigned VIN.
All right, Kenny, let's go to work. Get me 35.
What can we say about a classic custom? The most famous are late 40s, early 50s Mercurys with body reshaping accomplished via lead instead of Bondo, hence the term lead sled. However, this being a 49 Cadillac sedanette is a bit more unusual.
Now 10 to 12, 5, going to be 10 and 12, 5, 15. I'm going to get 12, 5, going to be 15, 15, 15, 12, 5, 15,000. I'm going to be 12, 5, 13. You do that, going to be 14. I'm going to be 14, going to be 13 to 14, going to be 13 to 14, going to be 13 to 14.
Everything is lower and smoother on a classic custom. Here you can see the top has been chopped while the body lines have been streamlined. A monochromatic paint job finishes the whole look off with a bold statement. So there's a lot of interest in this car. You just never know who might be bidding on it.
16.5. I got 16.5 internet person at 16.5. Going to be 17. 7.5. 17. I got 16. 750. Asking 17. Now 250. Now 17. Going to be 250. Going to be 2. Got her 5. Now 17,000. 555. Going to be. Let's lift the reserve. I got 17. 2.5. 5. Now Kenny, turn around. Let's sell it. And I got 4 bidders on 17. 2.5. 5. 5, 7.5. That's 17.5. Going to be 750. Now $18,000 now $18,000 out. Now reserves off. The reserves off. Now 18,000. Kenny, lift the reserve. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. I'm going to be 18. Got her. 18.5. 19. I'm going to be 18.5. 19. Now 19. 18.250. Now 18.5. Now 18.5. I got 250. Now 5. Going to be reserves off. 18.5. What's Kenny saying? I can't understand. 18. Somebody get a translator. Somebody get a translator. 18.250. 18.55. Reserves off. The reserve. 2.5 already. You're going to be 5. That's 7.5. 750. Yeah, I got Ricky now. 18.5 and 750. 18.5 and 750. 750. 750. 18. Reserves off and selling. Don't miss it. 18.7. $19,000 here. I'm going to get 19. Now 19. Now 19. Going to be 19. Now reserves off. Win the bidding war. Win the bidding wars here. Don't lose the bidding war on TV. That'll be 18. 19. 250. I'm going to be 19. Now 5. Well, you got some good competition. 19.5. I'm going to be 250. Now 5. Now 5. Going to be 5. 750. I'm going to be 19.5 and 750. Going to be 750, sir. Don't miss the card. 20,000. That's right about 20 now. 250. I'm going to be 20 grand. Going to be 20 grand. 250. Don't lose the bidding warrior on TV. I'm going to be 20. I'm going to be 20 grand. 250. Thank you. I'll be back. I'm going to be 20 grand. Going to be 250 going once. Going twice. Last 10 pounds. It's going to be 250. So $20,000. Kenny's a reserve up.
That was so very exciting. You know what? When you watch him bid like that, you got to feel like a lot of, a big part of it.
That car is as old as we are. We're about 67, gone on to 68, and it's in 49. We were born in 49.
All right, let's say hello to 2003 London Taxi, the International LT2. It's an actual miles car, 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. Again, an automatic. The London Taxi.
As iconic as the Checker cab was to the streets of American cities, so is the International LT or London Taxi to the capital of Great Britain. Like Checker, these vehicles are the only product of the London Taxi Company, and just like Checker, have basically retained the same body style that was first introduced in 1958. While this 2003 model is diesel-powered, new models are destined to be electric hybrids.
I'm going to get 500. 500, 500, now 1,000, and now 1,000, 500, now 1,000, and now 1,000, 1,500, and now 1,500, 2, and now 2,000, I'm going to get 2, 17, 2, and now 2,000, I'm going to get 17 and a half, get a bit 2. Yeah, great Uber car, and now 1,750, get a bit 2, and now $2,000, generate yourself an income, and now 17 and a half, get a bit 2. No, he's not in, 1,750, get a bit $2,000.
Normally, London taxis are right-hand drive, This one, left-hand drive for export, making it easier for American cabbies to enjoy this unique bit of British urban life.
17.5, going to be 2. Roll it out. 17.5, going to be 2. Generate yourself an income. Hang on just a minute. He wants to look at it. 17.5, going to be 2. $2,000 here to 17.5, going to be $2,000. Last call, hands up, roll it out. 2. You got a bid? 2,000, sir. And now 2,000. 2. Now 22.50, and now 22.50, and now 22.5, 22.50 here, you're gonna be 22.50, you're out there, 22.50, 25, and now 25, you're gonna be 25, now 5, 23, out there, you're gonna be 25, and now 25, gonna be 23, 24, and now 23, 24, 25, and now 25, 26, and $2,600, 27, and now 7 to 9, 27, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 2,600, gonna be $2,700 here, 26, 27 is reserve, 2,600, gonna be 27, 28, and now 28, 29, and 29. Hey, Mark. Here to 20. Kenny is a reserve. 29.3. And now 3,000. Going to be 3. 2,900 going to be 3. Kenny is reserve off. 2,900 going to be 3.5. Close the bidding at 2,900. Takes more today.
Oh, wow.
All right. Number 790.
Takes 5,000. Takes
5,000, Mark.
1979.
After all that, no one gets the London taxi. It's up to someone else to catch this ride.
1933 Plymouth Coupe Street Rod.
For crying out loud, leave me alone. I'm trying to sell this car.
It's a 1959 Triumph Roadster, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how it's done.
More exciting cars coming up here on Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Plastic.
We keep hearing him call for Kenny. Well, Kenny is the grinder, and his main job is to get the seller to reduce or remove the reserve.
Okay, lot number 432. 1933 Plymouth Coupe Street Rod's been powered up by a Chevy 350 small block V8 engine, 700R 4 automatic transmission, all steel body with Mustang 2 front end, front air ride suspension, Ford 8-inch rear end with power windows, electric doors, so much more.
Wow.
While Customs are primarily streamlined late 40s, early 50s cars, street rods are usually early 30s rides, which have been upgraded with V8 engines and performance pieces from other cars. The most iconic street rod is the 32 Ford or Deuce Coupe, which makes this 33 Plymouth, like the Custom Caddy, a little more uncommon.
Now 17.5, and now 20, gonna be 20 to 75, 20, and now 20, gonna be 20 to 20, 20, 20, 20. Way in the back, he's out there. Now Frank, gonna be 20, Frankie's out, gonna be 20 to 20, got her down to 5, and now 22.5, gonna be 22,500, gonna be 22.5, 21, Jack, 21, 22, 23, 24. You're out, Frank, gonna be 24, 24,000, gonna be 24, 24, gonna be 24. Now G, gonna be 24, 24, got her 25. You're not in, you're not in. I got 24 with Frank, now 25, 24, gonna be 25, now 24, gonna be 25, 25 here, gonna be 5 there, now 26, that's the way to do it, Ricky, that's the way, now 25, 26, and now 7, gonna be 27. Kenny, let's lift the reserve, let's let her know it's for sale. I got 26, Kenny, I got 26,000, now 27, and Rick, yeah, gonna be 27, and now 28, and now 27, 28, gonna be 29, gonna be 28, 29, Rick's out, gonna be 29, and 28, gonna be 29, now 9, gonna be 9, 29, 29, 30, and now 30, gonna be 30, to 30, to 30, 31, yes sir, now 31, 31, you're out, Rick, you're out, got 30 over here, 31, $31,000, gonna be 31, 31, is the reserve off, 31, 32, 32, 33, and now $33,000, gonna be 32 and 33, now 3, gonna be 32, now 3, 3, 3, is the reserve off, Kenny, the car's already down the ramp, reserves off, 33, 34, reserves off, 33, 34, yeah, reserves off, it's gonna have a new owner, 34, 35, and now 34, 35, gonna be 5, 34, $35,000, gonna be, yeah, 35. Kenny, for crying out loud, leave me alone, I'm trying to sell this car, I've told him 14 times, reserves off.
As Kathy mentioned, part of Kenny's job is to persuade the seller to remove the reserve so the car can be sold. The risk in doing this is that the bidding may go no further, but sometimes removing or dropping the reserve encourages bidders to go even higher once they know the car is truly available.
First one to say no loses, 30, gonna be 39, one more time, 39, 39, 39, gonna be 39, 40, and now $40,000, gonna be 40, 41, and now 41,000, gonna be 41, gonna be 41, $41,000, $41,000 on them once more. Last call, feed the Bears, 41, gonna be 41. Hey, 41. Yeah, I told you so, I told you. $41,000, gonna be 42. $42,000, gonna be 42, 43. And now 42 and 43, gonna be 43, 42. Don't miss it, be the winner, 42, 43. 3, and now 42-5, 43, 42-5, 43-5. Beat the Bears, 43-5, gonna be 3-5, 43-5 here, gonna be 5 there, 43,000. Reserves off. Hey, Rick, tell him, Ricky, tell him the reserves off.
It's gonna sell.
43,500 going twice. 43,500 going 3 times. Last and final call, 43,500. Give me 43,250. Come all the way, don't miss it now. 43,500. It's only $500. Only 500 more. 43,500. Sold $43,000. Sold $43,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got an announcement. It's a good one.
Congratulations on the Plymouth Street Rod. What was it about it that caught your eye?
I loved it.
You loved it. It's gorgeous.
It's just perfect.
Do you have plans for it? Are you going to drive it every day?
Oh, yeah.
It'll be your everyday car. Do you plan to show it?
Every day for a minute.
Just for a minute.
Mileage exempt. It's a 1959 Triumph Roadster, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to sell the 1959 Triumph Roadster, very rare car, at no reserve.
No reserve and mileage exempt. Of course, no reserve means just what you'd think. No monetary minimum has been set for this car. It will sell regardless of the amount bid. Mileage exempt just means that the auction will not guarantee the accuracy of the odometer reading. Now this Triumph TR3A is your classic British sports car, a true roadster with a soft top and side curtains instead of windows. Powered by an inline 4, just shy of 2 liters and a 4-speed manual transmission. To this day, the TR3A is still competitive in the Sports Car Club of America's E-Production class.
55.
Don't miss it, don't miss it. At $55, down $55, 55. Got her down 6,000. At 55, 6,000. Now marks out. I get 55 and 6,009 bids. I got 7.5 and now 6,000, 57, 55.
Oh, come on, really? I've seen you do worse at the auctions.
Hey, a lot of work. Stop doing that kind of work. If you won't give 6, but you give 58.
Final warning. Any advances, ladies and gentlemen, this is your last and final call. At 57, 50 bid. Who gets 6,000? 58. 6,000 is 58. 58, 9. At 58 and 999.
That's how
at 5,900.
6 grand. Hey, you get on it. You get on it this time.
I did that just, if it was at 5 grand, I was going to do it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
He said no, and are you sure? Give it $6,000 and I sold 5,900. Sold.
Rob, are you a dealer?
Yes, we are. We own a restoration shop.
Oh, so this will be a good project.
Yeah.
Obviously, the car was in great shape to begin with, but a complete restoration, those things are worth a serious amount of money now.
Yeah, we'll take it back to North Carolina, restore it, and then resell it.
By starting off the HG Ground collection with a classic T-Bird, Lake Auction sets the bar high.
If you can get your hands on a 1955 two-door hardtop T-Bird, you need to start bidding, folks.
One more shot.
Oh, come on, man.
Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Z-Max, the one product for your engine, transmission, and fuel system. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Sometimes we'll see something like a collection, as we have here, and usually what these are is a group of vehicles that is being sold because the person who owned them has passed away, they're being sold as part of an estate, or someone just needs to move them for financial reasons.
Here's number 728, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this 1957 Ford Thunderbird convertible. Got a 312 cubic inch V8 with an automatic. It's got the heavy-duty leather grain removable hardtop, wing windows, push-button Town & Country radio, fender skirts, white wall tires, and it's from the HG Ground collection.
Yes, Mr. Ground, Gene Ground, is out of Dallas, Texas, is a big developer. He's still around. We called on him, and he said, hey, I've reached the age that I'd like to go ahead and sell these while I'm still here to enjoy the fruits of my labor. He has a full-time mechanic, a full-time detailer. These cars were not barn finds. These were sitting in a beautiful building, that they were well-maintained cars. They're detailed very nicely, and you can rest assured that they are what they appear to be. So, Mr. Ground, thank you very much.
By starting off the HG Ground collection with a classic Tri-5 T-Bird, Lake Auction really sets the bar high. Ford first introduced the Thunderbird as a two-seat sports car to compete with Chevy's Corvette, but this model only lasted for 3 years, ending with the 1957 model, after which it was transformed into a full-size luxury sedan. But enough Ford fans lamented the loss of the two-seat T-Bird that the Mustang was eventually developed as a replacement.
And I got 20 bid now, 22, 5,
Oh, come on, man.
21,000, at 20, 21, at 20,000 bid to 25. Now listen to me, I want no mistakes. I've got Mikey in at 20 grand, 21,000 a little bit right there. And I get 20 bid now, 21,000 a little bit. Two, roll the car at 21, little bit 20. Come on, Ed. 25, now 2 at 22,000 a little bit 21.5. Hook at $22,000 time bid, 21.5, 22 at 21.5 on the $22,000 a little bit 20. 7.5. Now 2, Ed, at 22,000 at 21,750, 22,000 22. I'm at 21,750 down, 22,000 2 going once at $22,000 going twice. Final warning. I don't want to miss you. I don't want to.
23!
3. That's the way to bid. 24 at 23 now. 24,000 3 and 4. I'm bid. $23,000 24. How about 23,500 fair warning? Fair warning. Here goes. 23,500. Any advances? I don't want to miss you at 23,500. He said no, and I sold.
Ed, that is by far one of the best deals of this entire event so far. Did you know that thing was coming up? Were you here for that?
Yeah. The car needs a little cleanup, but I bought it for my wife.
No kidding.
Fun story. I bought her one at another auction, a white 57. Bought 6 cars in 2 hours here, and as they were coming off the trailer, my wife said, I said, there's your car. She goes, I don't like white. So I bought this one instead, and I'll fix it up.
Fantastic job. Y block and all. Amazing.
It's a 1955 Ford Thunderbird, the two-door hardtop. It's got a 292, 198 horsepower Y block with the Ford-O-Matic automatic. Love the engine dress-up kit as well on this Thunderbird. If you can get your hands on a 1955 two-door hardtop T-Bird, you need to start bidding, folks. This is a nice one. No reserve.
While Ed's wife might prefer the rose red 57 T-Bird, someone else will surely appreciate this white 55. As the first year for the Thunderbird, the fins were smaller, the famed portholes in the fiberglass top were yet to be introduced, but the car successfully conveyed the class its makers intended.
20 at 20, here we go. 17.5 here, now 20,000
Hey, David!
At 18, 19, now 20 at 19 bid, now 20.
Right again.
Now 20.
Hey, don't quit so easy. Let's do 20.
At 19, $20,000 20. 19 bid, now 20.
You can make it nicer. How about 19.5?
Note that the man behind the auctioneer is getting bids from the internet.
23, we're out. They got 22 up front. Do 23.
23 at 23 better. Now wait, now for at 24 does it internet. Well, Iron Planet Interweb. I get 23. 24 does it roll the car. At 23 is the bid. 24,000 3 and 4. When the bid war. At 23,000 24,000 going once. 54,000 going twice. How about 23.5 at 23,000?
Good job, John Boy.
23.5. He said no. And are you sure? 23.5.
So, we got her. Thank you.
I know who signed for this, so I know I don't need to talk to Gary, do I?
That is a gift for Gary.
Oh, really? Did you know it was a gift for you?
No, but I figured it might be.
Uh-oh. What was the factor here that you kind of...
He had one years ago. He'd restored. It took him 3 years, and we had to sell it about 2 years after he restored it. So I've sworn I'd buy him another one.
Thank you very much, darling.
You're welcome, honey.
It's a 1956 Studebaker Skyhawk. We're still in the HG Ground collection, selling at no reserve.
I'll put you in.
No, you didn't.
You're watching Bidding Wars presented by Dustless Plastic.
All right, we're going to go to number 734. It's a 1956 Studebaker Skyhawk. It's rebuilt sweepstakes 289 cubic inch V8 engine, 210 horsepower in that V8. Rebuilt 3-speed manual transmission as well.
On the Studebaker.
While Studebaker no longer makes cars, they did manage to produce a few memorable models towards the end of their existence, like the Hawk series. While the Thunderbird was influenced by the Corvette, the Hawk was influenced by the Thunderbird. Conceived by the highly influential industrial design firm of Raymond Loewy, Studebaker would retain essential elements of this car till the company's demise in the mid-60s.
At 15, at 15, you're both out. No, you're not in. You're not in. Gotta get 12, 5, 15, I got it. 13, and now 14,000. At 13, gotta get 14, then 14, 9 bid. 13,000, $14,000 at a 13 bid. Now 14, and now 15, got her. 16,000. At 15, gotta be $16,000 time bid. 15, 16,000. At 15 bid, now 16,000. No, yeah, listen to me. At 16, 15,500, now 16,000. Art, would you give me 16? At 15,500, 16,000. Roll the car. At 15,500, 16. At 15,500, 16. 7.5, now 16,000. Win the bidding war. I got 15,700, 50 bid. Now $16,000 at 16. Now 555, 16,500, 16 bid. Now 5, 16,500. Is that a yes? At 16,500, 16 bid. Now 555, gonna be 16,500. Here goes. Gonna be 16,500. He wants to see the engine there. Help him out there. Gonna be 16,500, 17. At 17,000 dollars, it'll be 16,500, it'll be 17. I got 16,500 bid, now 17. Once more, sir, at 16,500 is the bid, 17,000. Now listen to me, I've got Mikey in at 16,500, only 17,000 dollars, it'll be 17. At 17, what'd you say, Jerry?
Folks, once again, Studebaker Skyhawk, rare cars. We're still in the HG Ground Collection, selling at no reserve. This is a beautiful rebuilt sweepstakes.
16,500, 17. Here goes. Get ready to drive it up. At 17,000, 16,500, 17,000 dollars, 17. Fair warning, fair warning. Are there any advances, ladies and gentlemen? Only 17,000, 16,500 bid, 17,000 dollars, 17. He said nope, and I sold. Mikey's way at 16,500. Sold 16,000. $500. Sold. 16,500.
Let's say you bought one of these vehicles. Well, how do you get it home? And that's why we're checking out some of the great things that are going on here as well at the auction. Mike with Reliable Carriers. Mike, you've been driving these vehicles all over the country for many years.
Many years. We started in '72. I've been with Reliable for just under 10 years.
You know, when people come to an auction, they may buy more than one vehicle a lot of times, and they don't necessarily have the transportation to get them there, but that's why we're going to find folks like Reliable.
That's correct. We have everything set up here for them. They come to the desk, they book it. At that point, we take care of everything for them. They don't have to do a thing but go back home.
You guys have a huge fleet.
We're approaching 400 trucks now. We're the largest in the country doing specialized hauling.
I mean, you're working with all the latest technology and everything to keep track of these vehicles that people are buying.
We are, and because of the size of our fleet, the big three, Porsche, all of the big companies, that is the majority of our business. And we have specialized trailers built just to haul for those people. And our secondary business, if you could call it secondary, is the auction business. We represent every auction house in the United States. We send trucks to every auction that there is, and it doesn't have to be an auction. You can buy a car, call us, and we'll ship it anywhere actually in the world. We have overseas shipping. We can put it any place you want it to go.
What about insurance?
We carry up to $5 million on each and every trailer, but we can add up to whatever you need for insurance.
So whether you are going to an auction like we are here today, or you want to sell a vehicle that you have in your own, check out the folks at ReliableCarriers.com to transport that vehicle for you. And what do you say we check out and see what's for sale now?
We've got number 731. It's a 1969 Ford Mustang Custom Coupe. It's got the 390 cubic inch big block V8, an automatic, only 750 miles approximately since this was built. It is a factory air car, and I really like the lowered stance on this 1969 Ford Mustang Custom Coupe. No reserve.
One of the top-selling cars when it was introduced in 1964, almost any old Mustang is still a hot ticket, especially when you paint one Arrest Me Red. This particular pony comes with a 390 engine, but 1969 was the second restyle for the first-generation Mustangs, which allowed for Ford's biggest engine, the massive Boss 429.
9 bid, 12, 5, 15, and now 14,000, now 14,000, 13, 14,000, at 13, get a bid, 14, 9 bid, 13, now 14, got her, 15, 9 bid, 14, 15,000, at 15, 16,000, at 15, what about $16,000, I am bid, 15, get a 16,000, at 15, now 16, 16, one more time, 17,000, what a bond, what a deal, what a card, at 16, get a bid, 17,000, 16 bid, 16, 5, now 17, I got 16,500 bid, now 17,000, got her, and 5, 5, 5, 17, 5, one more time at 17, 5, roll it, at 17,500, numbers at 17, 5, here goes, at 17,500, fair warning, 17,500, at 17 bid, now 5, Mikey, would he like to bid, at 17,000 right here, good at 17, 5, at 17,500, going once, twice, last call, put the hood down and drive it out, at 17,500, 9 bid, 17, Marty's bidders in, at 17,000, hook at $17,500 going once, any division house, $17,500 going twice, any division here, good at 17, 5, he said no, sold, $17,000, sold the edible bill for $17,000.
Verge, you don't even have to be a Ford fan to appreciate that kind of deal. Who would have ever believed that car would have sold for $17,000? The thing's only got like 50 miles on its new restoration.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Are you a Ford guy? Were you looking for Mustangs?
I like Fords.
You got a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
What an amazing group of Oldsmobiles in the HG Ground collection.
About 10 years from now, that car doubles.
Rochester fuel injection in a 1959 Corvette Fuelie.
Hey, Phil, she can bid too, right? Oh, she's in.
Welcome back to Bidding Wars, brought to you by Dustless Plastic. You know, one of the ways they keep the show moving really fast throughout the day at any Lake Auctions event is through the use of these things. They're called car caddies. They look bizarre, but they have a very specific purpose. You know, the fire marshal in most towns won't allow the cars to be running indoors any more than the length of time it takes to get up the ramp onto the carousel. After that, the cars are shut off, never to be fired again inside the building. So how do they maneuver the cars around? Well, they could use manpower, but these make it a lot easier. They're called car caddies. Full of batteries, electric of course, this wheel-driven machine is actually controlled much like a motorcycle with hand controls, and the cars are pushed with these very soft pads, and you'll see at one of these events, guys pushing cars all over the place with their car caddies.
It's a 1954 Oldsmobile 98 Starfire convertible. What an amazing group of Oldsmobiles in the HG Ground collection. This is titled as a 1954 Olds. It's got a 324 Rocket V8 with a Hydra-Matic automatic transmission. Power, everything.
That's a beautiful car.
No reserve.
Wait a minute. This is a convertible. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the top goes down, the price goes up. This is a beautiful convertible.
When the top goes down, the price goes up. Now, that's actually a saying that was invented by a very famous auctioneer, Dean Cruz, many years ago. And what that means is convertibles are usually worth more money.
As the HG Ground collection continues across the auction block, we get a return visit from Robert Grice, a buyer-seller with an apparent affinity for 1950s cars. Evidently, he's not the only one. With all the bidders in the arena, we've also got bids coming in from cell phones and on the internet. Keep an eye on the man seated behind the auctioneer.
30 bid, 31 2, at 32 3, at 32, 33, 3, I'm at 32 3, 4, at 34,000, I'm going to be 3 and 4, at 33, 34,000.
Also returning is John Conlon, Lake Auctions official liaison for phone bidders, and he currently has the high bid.
I am bid 33 34. Now listen, 4 got her. Now 35, now 36,000, I'm going to be 35 6, at 35,000, I'm going to be 36,000, 35 6. Now 7 at 36 and 7. Roll the car at 36 and 7. 7 bid 36 and 37.
Y'all down low, Lou?
37,000 internet's out. John's in at $36,000. $37,000 going once. At 37 I got. Now 38. 38,000. I am bid 37,000 bid. Now 38 I got. Now 39.
As the bidders in the arena drop out one by one, this is becoming a tournament of technologies. The web versus wireless.
$39,000 at 39 I got it. Now 40.
We need 40. You want to go 40?
Bid now 40. John's bidders in it. $40,000. 41 for warning. money. At 41,000, I'm going to bid 41. Did you want to bid there, Andy? 41,000, I'm going to bid 41. 40,500. Now 41. We're getting there.
41 now.
40,500. 41,000. Now 41,500. I did that special for you now. 41,500. No, you're not in, sir. I've got John's bidder in at 41. $41,500 at 41,500. What do you say? No limit should be in here. They're having a meeting. Ask them at 41,500.
Hey,
42.
Phil, she can bid too, right? Oh, she's in?
Watch out, Kathy.
5 bid. 42,000 I got her. Now 42,500. At 42,000. 5 got her. Now 43,000. At 43,333. One more time at 43,000. Now 44. At 44, now 44,000. At 3 bid. Now 44,400. I have 43 bid. 44,000 now. 44 going once. At $44,000. Fair warning. Does he want to bid? $44,000 at 3 and 4. I get 43. Now 44. He said no. Ain't a bid. $44,000 and so.
And the cell phone bidder wins.
Listen to that. It's a 1959 Corvette. It's a Fuelie, ladies and gentlemen. Titled as a 1959 Chevy. That is a date code correct. Again, a date code correct. Real Fuelie, ladies and gentlemen. 1959. And it's a 4-speed as well. Rochester fuel injection in a 1959 Corvette Fuelie.
Fuel injected.
There are two things which make this Corvette a bit more exceptional than the average plastic Fantastic. One, it is date code correct, the next best thing to being a matching numbers car. All of the parts numbers fall within its manufacturing date, making it more original. And two, it's a Fuelie, equipped with the optional, yet very rare, Rochester mechanical fuel injection.
50,000 bid. 55. 55. At 55 got it. Now 60. 55 bid. Now 60. At 57.5 here. Now 60.
Hey, David.
57.5 bid. Now 60. Come
60,
on, Dave.
buddy.
Buyer. I get 57.
Try to keep up. We got an auction going on here, Dave.
Now $60,000 at 60. At 57,500. Now 60.
60.
Over $125,000 invested. 60. Another bidder. 62.5. Good job, Phil. I got 60 bid. 62.5. Now 65. 75. At 65 here. Going to be 67,500. Bid with confidence. Somebody else likes it. What you do? I got 65 bid. 67.5. 67. At 67.5. Now 70. Now 70. Now 70. You're not in. $70,000 at 70. I got 67.5 bid. Now 70. Now 25. 70 bid. 72.5. Roll the car. I got 70 bid. 72,500. 70 bid. 2.5. Come on, Jack. Buyer, Jack. I got 70 bid. 71,000. Now there you go. Bid. I got 70 bid. Now 1. 71,000 at 70 bid. Now 1. At 71,000 at 70 bid. Now $71,000 going once. $71,000 going twice. At 71. 72. 3.
Some of these bidders are so cagey, they like to bid without looking like they're bidding.
74, bud.
74. At 73,000 bid. Now $74,000 going to bid 3 and 4.
Why wouldn't you, Dave?
At 73.
Come on, slow lane.
$74,000 going to bid 3 and 4. 4 going to bid 73. 4. I get 73 bid. Now 74 and 74. Are you all done, Marty? Hands up. Final warning. At $74,000 going to bid 74. At $74,000 going to bid 74.
One more.
Are you bidding over here? At 73 and 4.
No. He's already in.
He's already. Okay, pardon me.
Other times, a ringman might have to prevent a more enthusiastic bidder from bidding against himself.
You're going to bid 74, and you're going to bid 74, and I sold $70,000 sold it to you. At $73,000 headed Iowa. Sold.
I have to say, when Mr. Sevenoaks comes over and congratulates you, you know that you pretty much got the headline car of the day on that one.
Well, thank you, sir. I bought a car! Yay! I bought the best car!
We call him Doug on the rug. I'm surprised to see him on a seat. He's usually underneath the car looking at it.
I'm worn out looking at all these cars.
I'm going to guess that there wasn't too much to see on that one that wasn't blatantly obvious.
It's a beautiful car.
Look at this. Matching numbers 327 with 340 horsepower V8.
The bid is in Dubai. 49,550.
Perfect. All that crap. Talking all that crap.
Bidding Wars, presented by Dustless Plastic, is being brought to you by Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Gen Y Hitch, towing made easy. And by Dustless Plastic, it's the future of surface preparation.
The term numbers matching is extremely important to any buyer who wants an authentic car. The numbers referred to include the VIN or vehicle identification number on the firewall of the car and the engine block. By comparing the two, one can find that the engine involved was the one that really came from the factory with that specific car.
All right, let's go to number 740 next. 740 is a 1962 Chevrolet Corvette convertible. Look at this mileage-exempt Corvette. Matching numbers 327 with 340 horsepower V8. 4-speed manual. That's right, it's a 1962 Corvette convertible. Matching numbers 327 to a 4-speed. Talk about fun, ladies and gentlemen. It's got aluminum intake, dash clock, American racing wheels. We are still in the HG Ground Collection Corvette convertible.
As the last year for the C1 Corvette, the 1962 models were certainly given the best Chevy had to offer at the time. The all-new 327 was a remarkably potent engine, and fuel injection was still optional. There were also a bunch of lasts. It was the last model with a trunk till 1998, the last one with exposed headlights till 2005, and the last one with the original style solid rear axle.
4-speed car, 40, now 5, and 45,000, 40 bad, down 5, gonna be 45 and roll it, and I get 45, 25, now 45, and 45,000, gonna be 25 bad, now 45, 5, gonna be 25, I gotta be 43 now. I'm bid 42, 5, 45, and 45 and 45, I'm bid 45, got her now 75. Iron Planet Internet's in it, 45, 75. Who said just at 47,500? Don't miss it, don't miss it. Win the bidding war, win the bidding war. And I get 45 bid, 47,500 going once, at 47,500 going twice. Here it goes. You got 46 inside it. At 46 and 47, 77. One more time at $47,000. And at 47 Internet. At 46 bid here, now 47. I'm bid 46 and 47,000. Got her now 48,000. At 48. And I get 47 a bid, now 8 and buyer. At 48,000. One more time at 8, 47 a bid. Take her to Dubai. At 47 a bid, now 47.5. Now 48. Now you can bid Internet. And I get 47.5 bid. Now the bid is in Dubai at 47.5. Now $48,000 at a bid 48 going once. I got her now 49 and 49. Come on, Ed, help me get 50 your own Ed. Help me get 50 your own Ed. I got 49, 48 bid, 49,000.
48.5, Ed.
I'm gonna bid 49.
One more shot.
48.99. One more time at 49,000. One more time going once, twice. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. That's be the best. 49. Now 50. Even money Internet. 48,500. He'll get $50,000 going once. At $50,000 going twice to see what I'm in Internet. Once more at 50,000. Easy do it. I have 48.5 and I'm at 49,000. Now you can bid Internet. And I get 49.5. Now 50,000. 49.5. Now 50,000. That's Ed. Always remember what you paid. I get 49.5. Now 50. Ed, I'll stop you if you pay too much. 49.5. 50. And now 50,000. 50. 49.5. 50 going twice. Into the bid. Be the winner. Be the winner. 49.5 on the Internet. $50,000 going once, twice, last call. Like you ever done. He said nope. And so 49,000. Iron Planet Internet.
So you lost out on a Corvette to someone who is bidding online. What is it like bidding against someone who's not here?
I missed it by $500. Real nice car, but my 49.5 was my top bid. So
That was your limit, and that $500 just wasn't enough to take it.
you got to stop someplace. But I did I bought another couple of cars already this morning, so I'm happy.
Meanwhile, one of the last cars from the HG Ground Collection is this 2006 Viper SRT 10.
How about 31?
What?
Now
How about
32.
31 then?
2,
32.
31, 2, 3.
33.
And $3,000 out of it, 2, 3. Roll the car. I've got Mikey all the way at 32. $33,000 out of it, 2 and 3. 32 bid. Now 3. Buyer Dave.
25.
33. At 33 and 3, 3, 3. Both your bidders are out, Mikey. They're both out. They're both out. I got 32.5 bid. Now 33 and 33,000. Fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hand in there. At 3, you got a 34,500. At 34.5. 34 bid. Now 35. I'm going to bid 35. No, you're not in. You're not in. I've got Mikey's bidder at 34, 35.
Did that help?
Yes. Down 35.5. I'm going to put one more time.
It did.
At $35,000 going once.
Are you
$35,000
sure?
going twice.
You keep talking all that crap, you need to put a piece of gum in your mouth.
I got bad breath.
Last call.
Squirt me.
Talking all that crap. Talking all that crap.
So, 34,000.
For Brett Kepner, Kathy Fisher, Holly Vining, and our entire CBS Sports crew, I'm Ted Jones in association with Masters Entertainment Group. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.